September the 29th, 2022. Guys, it was a devastating blow to Florida, and the sheriff there is saying that he's afraid that hundreds of people have lost their lives. That's the sad part for me. Buildings can be redone and bridges can be rebuilt, but the it 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 tears into my soul to think about that many people losing their life, and that is why I do the reporting. I don't usually do much post-hurricane reporting because I don't like to go there. I don't like to show much of the devastation. I like to spend the time pre-hurricane to get people aware of what's going on and, if possible, to get them to evacuate. Guys, you're looking at the toll plaza to Sanibel Causeway, and the roads are gone. A big section of the bridge is gone. You've got Sanibel Island is cut off, and there's one other island that's attached to this bridge. I can't remember the name of it right now, but look at this toll plaza road. What I'm going to do is, there's a lot of images there, and there's videos that are, you'll get a copyright strike if you show them on YouTube since you didn't film them, and that's fair enough, right? But I'm going to link to a page that has a tremendous amount of people that have shot video of the flooding. Guys, there's some of the images I saw yesterday when the storm surge came in down around Fort Myers, and the houses were already covered up over the first floor, and it was getting into the second floor of the buildings, and it was a river running through there. I mean, there was stuff washing down the streets. Like you see the sheriff's department, they have these big trailers that they use as like mobile command units and things like that. One washing down the road. I've seen just almost a whole pier of boats, including very large sailboats, washing down streets. But it came in like a tsunami, and the winds were incredible. 155 is what they're saying. Again, look at the roads. Part of the bridge is gone. And again, the saddest part is that the sheriff is saying he's devastated because hundreds of people, he's afraid, have lost their lives. When it got to a point to where even Ron DeSantis said, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday maybe, that it's almost too late to evacuate. And the storm kept changing paths. So most people, including me and a lot of you guys, when we first started tracking the storm, it was coming up towards Mobile, Alabama. And we were saying that it looked like most of Florida would be safe. And we quickly changed that attitude when the track started turning back to the right. But guys, the devastation there is over. We got a Cat 1 hurricane that's still over Florida. Should be slowing down to a tropical storm. It's going to exit back over into the ocean if it hasn't already started. And you guys up into South Carolina, you're going to take a direct hit, it looks like, from a tropical storm, if it doesn't strengthen a little past that because of the Gulf Stream itself. And this picture is what they're calling Fort Myers Beach Times Square. It was leveled during the hurricane. They are moving hundreds of power trucks into Florida that were staged out just outside the danger zones. You've got 2.6 million people without power right now. That's a lot of folks, guys, and it's still warm weather down in South Florida. This is going to be what you see when they start letting people back in for miles and miles and miles. I knew it. We've been through too many here in Mississippi to know what's going to happen when we see a storm that size, and that's why it's so important to heed all the warnings. And guys, even though the storm coming up into South Carolina, it looks like it's just going to be a tropical storm, be aware. This thing had tornadoes. It had massive water spouts. The cloud walls looked like something out of a science fiction movie. If you come here, and I'm going to have this link to this particular Twitter.com page, you'll see a lot of videos, a lot of images that will kind of clarify what these folks went through. Now, this update is 12 minutes old, and we no longer have a hurricane. We have a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm, Ian, now. It's just coming off the coast of Florida, right there. Again, this was 12 minutes ago, the update. And it looks, now it's a tropical storm now, but they're showing that it may return to hurricane strength. See that? HH. You got hurricane warnings out for the entire South Carolina coastline. You got hurricane and tropical storm warnings out from South Florida all the way up to Nags Head, and because of the size of the storm. One thing I did notice last night, before I called it a day, that as Ian was getting into Central Florida, it was starting to lose its ability to pull moisture from behind it from the Gulf of Mexico itself. And I think that helped with some of the flooding, possibly, but it's pretty devastating in there. But you guys in Carolina here, you got Myrtle Beach under the gun. It's already cloudy. I was looking at one of the Myrtle Beach webcams that are down by the boardwalk, and it's overcast. There's a few people out there, but we hope that you don't see anything like what we just saw down in Fort Myers. And notice that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., as people are rising, you're going to have possible hurricane bearing down on you already. So go ahead and get your preparations made for along the coast here. And if you're in any low-lying areas inland that could be subjected to flash flooding, think about that. Think about your pets also. Now, Fox Hurricane is also doing the same thing in the track. You've got a tropical storm. They're showing this thing coming back, and I think it's because it's over the Gulf Stream, into a Category 1. It only has to go up just a few more miles an hour to be there, but it's going to re-strengthen and come ashore. So we've got a whole new set of watches and warnings. Guys in South Carolina, look at your tide charts for in the morning, Friday, 8 a.m., 75 mile per hour, Category 1 hurricane coming in. Double strike, same storm system. We hope this end of it will be a lot different than the beginning was. Also, Cuba got wrecked, guys. They were just like Fort Myers. It was a Cat 3 when it got there, but they're such it's an island nation, and it just swept across there. Fort Myers and through that area, man, I don't know what to say. The devastation is unbelievable. Let's look at the current satellite images. Before I forget, before I go to the satellite images, check out this new spaghetti models. This purple is the Navy, shows it going up into Carolinas, up into Northern Carolina, border of Tennessee, and looping back out into the Atlantic, coming back up and making a third strike up around Washington, D.C. Now, your Navy, CMC model that we also watch is doing the same thing, looping up right around, turning right there where the purple line changes, loops up here and back out. Now, CMC, it shows it going back out to sea. So we got another completely mismatched set of spaghetti models. But it's such a powerful storm, we just don't know yet. But you guys, just remember, Charleston, South Carolina, you're under the gun. I've been there. It's beautiful. But you be prepared for this thing. I think the high winds, tornadoes, heavy rainfall, possible water spouts, and these high tides and storm surges are going to be a problem that you're going to need to watch. Along the coastline, it's very low there. Like I said, I've been to Charleston. I've been to Myrtle Beach. Beautiful beaches, beautiful places. So just be prepared. I'm sure they're going to do some, I don't know if it would be mandatory evacuation or not, but, after what you're seeing in Florida, just don't take any chances. Now, you can tell by this East Coast satellite imaging, this thing is starting to reform and re-strengthen a little bit. That's why they're saying now that it will be a Cat 1 hurricane. In the models yesterday, they were talking about it just maintaining a tropical storm or tropical depression strength. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit of trouble for you guys there. You've been here before. At least it's not a Cat 3 or Cat 4, right? But, guys, we're watching it. I'll put the link below, and you can go there and see for yourself what has happened, and maybe it will be beneficial if we have any more of these superstorms like that, people just get out of the way. Go away, forget about the property, take your pets, get out, take what you got to have. When it's all said and done, come back in and see what's left over. At least you'll have your family. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.